We are keeping a very close eye on Congress as Democrats and Republicans remain in a prolonged battle for control of the Senate. As you can see in this graphic, predictions of a blue wave, well, they did not seem to pan out, with Republicans holding on to some very crucial seats. And we're still waiting for final results from fiercely competitive races. Chief Congressional Correspondent Nancy Cordes is on top of it. Boy, Nancy, you've been working overtime, triple time. What's the latest? Good morning to you.
Good morning. So have you, Gail. Well, Democrats are feeling pretty good at this hour about Arizona. So that would get them to 48 seats. But then they still need 2 more to get to 50 and take control. Now, overnight, their chances of securing a second Senate runoff in Georgia improved as that race tightened. So we've got a cliffhanger here when it comes to control of the Senate, and it could last for months.
To the people of Maine, thank you, thank you.
Maine Republican Susan Collins blocked one path to a Democratic majority, winning a 5th term in the Senate despite a high-profile challenge from State House Speaker Sara Gideon.
I feel that this is an affirmation of the work that I'm doing in Washington to fight hard every day.
Other Senate Republicans fended off well-funded foes in Iowa, Texas, and South Carolina.
I'm going back to the Senate with a purpose.
Now the fight for control comes down to 3 states with tight races. The first is North Carolina, where Republican Senator Thom Tillis retains a small lead over Democrat Cal Cunningham, with nearly all the votes counted. CBS News hasn't projected a winner, but Tillis did.
We did it against all the odds, right? I mean, have we heard this before? You're down in the polls, there's no chance of winning. And I believed in every single one of you.
Georgia Republican David Perdue is being more cautious. He's leading Democrat Jon Ossoff, but if Perdue slips below 50%, the race will go to a January runoff. Another Georgia Senate race is definitely headed to a runoff between Senator Kelly Loeffler and Pastor Raphael Warnock, meaning we'll likely wait for months to find out which party controls the Senate. The Senate's current leader, Mitch McConnell, admitted yesterday he's in suspense, just like everyone else.
I don't know whether I'm going to be the defensive coordinator or the offensive coordinator.
In Arizona, former astronaut Mark Kelly is likely to defeat Republican Senator Martha McSally. And former Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper is headed to the Senate after beating Republican Senator Cory Gardner.
It's time for a different approach. It's time to start solving problems and helping people. And that's exactly what I intend to do.
Even if everything goes the Democrats' way, they will only end up with a razor-thin majority. Now, over on the House side, Democrats are expected to keep their majority, but with a much slimmer margin. Even though they flipped 2 red seats to blue, Republicans flipped 8 so far, and there are still more than 24 races that are considered toss-ups. Speaker Nancy Pelosi admitted it had been a, quote, challenging election in a letter to Democrats. She predicted a victory for former Vice President Joe Biden and vowed to work with him to deliver on health care and green infrastructure. But if the Senate remains in Republican control, that is going to be much harder to do.
Wow, you're looking at the House and the Senate, both very tight.
Right.
And we still don't know who the president's going to be.
Looks like we're headed towards 2 more years of divided government, though.
I love how we're still talking about infrastructure. I mean, meanwhile, the bridges and the roads aren't getting any better. Let's start building something, huh?
But the Senate races have been just as exciting, I think, to watch, Nancy. You know, because we went into it one way thinking, well, surely the Democrats have a really good shot. And then to get none of that, I think, was such a big surprise.
Right, I think everyone is really puzzling over what did we get wrong? You know,
yes.
All these campaigns, they thought they were doing well, too, and their data was off. So, you know, they're going to be looking back at their turnout models, and you've got a lot of donors who are especially frustrated. They poured
money that was
hundreds of millions of dollars into these races, and in the end, they weren't even close.
A good reminder, money doesn't vote, people do.
I know.
No question.
There's an old saying, you know, I know I'm wasting half my money, I just don't know which half. Yes. Donors are thinking that this morning. Right. Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate it.